You know, the world can be a very overwhelming place. For folks on the autism spectrum, it's like having the volume turned way up on everything. The lights, the sounds, the social interactions. It's tough to filter all that sensory input, and it can make everyday life feel like navigating a maze in a thunderstorm. That's why it's so important to understand the signs of autism, to recognize the different ways it can present itself. It's not always about obvious behaviors. Sometimes it's the quiet struggles, the internal battles that go unnoticed. So, in this video, we're going to break down the top 10 signs of autism, signs that might not be immediately apparent. And more importantly, we'll talk about how we can best support our autistic friends, family members, students, and colleagues, because a little understanding can make a world of difference. Picture this: a crowded playground, kids laughing, shouting, running around. For many autistic people, this feels chaotic and confusing. Social interaction is a dance of nonverbal cues and subtle expressions. It can be overwhelming, like a foreign language without a dictionary. They might miss social cues or find it hard to make eye contact. Patience and understanding are key. Be direct, avoid idioms, and give them time to process. We often hear that eye contact is a sign of confidence, of engagement. But for many autistic people, direct eye contact can feel incredibly intense, even painful. It's like having a spotlight shone directly into your eyes, overwhelming and uncomfortable. Instead of forcing eye contact, try to focus on other cues: body language, tone of voice, facial expressions. Remember, communication is about more than just the eyes. Think about it like this: some people are sensitive to certain fabrics. Wool sweaters might be itchy and unbearable, even though others find them cozy. It's the same with eye contact. What feels natural for one person can be a completely different sensory experience for another. So the next time you're interacting with someone who seems uncomfortable with eye contact, don't take it personally. It's not about disinterest or disrespect. It's about different ways of experiencing the world. Instead of demanding eye contact, try to create a comfortable and accepting environment where communication can flow naturally. Have you ever noticed someone flapping their hands, rocking back and forth, or repeating a phrase over and over? These behaviors, often called stimming, are common in autistic individuals. But instead of seeing them as strange or disruptive, it's important to understand why they happen. Stimming serves a very real purpose. It's a way for autistic individuals to regulate their sensory input, to calm themselves down when feeling overwhelmed, or to express joy and excitement. Imagine being bombarded with a cacophony of sounds: traffic, conversations, music. It's too much. Now imagine finding a way to create your own rhythm, a soothing repetition that helps to drown out the chaos. That's what stimming can be like. It's a coping mechanism, a way to create a sense of control in a world that often feels overwhelming. Instead of trying to suppress stimming behaviors, we should try to understand the function they serve. If a particular behavior isn't disruptive, there's no need to intervene. Chapter 4. The Many Ways of Communicating. Speech and Beyond. Communication isn't just verbal. There are many ways to express ourselves. Some autistic individuals use gestures, pictures, or technology to communicate. Lack of speech doesn't mean lack of thoughts or feelings. They might have a rich inner world, full of ideas and emotions. Be patient and provide alternative communication methods. Embrace different modes to unlock their voices. Chapter 5. A Sensory Symphony: Understanding Sensory Sensitivities. Imagine a world where the hum of fluorescent lights is deafening, where the feeling of clothing on your skin is unbearable, where certain smells trigger nausea. For many autistic people, this is everyday life. Sensory sensitivities are incredibly common in autism, and they can manifest in a variety of ways. Some individuals might be hypersensitive, meaning they experience sensory input more intensely than others. Others might be hyposensitive, needing more sensory stimulation to register the world around them. It's like having the volume turned up too high on some senses, while others are muffled and distant. The key is to create environments that are sensory-friendly: dimmed lighting, noise-canceling headphones, comfortable clothing. These small adjustments can make a world of difference. Remember, what might be a minor inconvenience for one person can be a major obstacle for another. By being mindful of sensory sensitivities, we can create spaces where everyone feels comfortable and safe. Chapter 6. Passion and Focus: The Power of Special Interests. Autistic individuals often develop deep, passionate interests in specific topics. This intense focus, often called a special interest, can be a source of great joy and motivation. These aren't just hobbies. They're all-consuming passions that can fuel learning, creativity, and a sense of purpose. Think of it like this. Imagine a detective completely absorbed in a case, piecing together clues, relentlessly pursuing the truth. That's the level of focus and dedication that autistic individuals often bring to their special interests. These passions can open doors to new skills, knowledge, and social connections. Instead of dismissing these interests, we should encourage and support them. By nurturing these passions, we can help autistic individuals thrive and reach their full potential. Chapter 7. Decoding Emotions, a Different Perspective. The world of emotions can be a complex and confusing one, even for those of us who don't have autism. But for autistic individuals, understanding and expressing emotions can present unique challenges. It's not that they don't feel emotions. In fact, they might experience them very intensely. The difficulty lies in recognizing, labeling, and managing those emotions, as well as understanding the emotions of others. Imagine trying to read a map with faded lines and missing landmarks. You can see that there are roads and destinations, but navigating them feels confusing and disorienting. That's what it can be like to navigate the social-emotional landscape. We can help by being patient, by explaining social situations clearly, and by teaching emotional regulation strategies. Visual aids, social stories, and direct instruction can be incredibly helpful. Remember, emotional literacy is a skill that can be learned and developed, and with the right support, autistic individuals can navigate the world of emotions with greater confidence and ease. Imagine having a carefully constructed schedule, a predictable routine that helps you feel safe and in control. Now, imagine that routine being disrupted, thrown into disarray. For autistic individuals who often thrive on predictability, unexpected changes can be incredibly unsettling. It's not just about being stubborn or resistant to change. It's about having a different way of processing information and managing anxiety. Routines provide a sense of order and predictability in a world that can feel chaotic and overwhelming. Think of it like this. Imagine having a map that you rely on to navigate a city. Suddenly, the streets are rearranged, landmarks disappear, and you're left feeling lost and disoriented. That's what it can be like for an autistic person when their routine is disrupted. We can help by providing advance notice of changes, by introducing new experiences gradually, and by creating visual schedules that provide a sense of structure. By understanding the importance of routine, we can help autistic individuals navigate change with greater confidence and less anxiety. Communication is so much more than just the words we speak. Our body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice all convey subtle but important messages. But for autistic individuals, deciphering these nonverbal cues can be incredibly challenging. It's like trying to understand a conversation by listening to only half of the words. You might grasp the basic meaning, but the nuances, the emotions, the underlying message might be lost. Imagine watching a movie with the sound turned off. You can see the actors' movements, their gestures, but you miss the inflections in their voices, the music that sets the mood. The experience feels incomplete. We can help by being more explicit in our communication, by using clear and concise language, and by avoiding sarcasm or figurative language. Visual aids, social stories, and role-playing can also be incredibly helpful in teaching nonverbal communication skills. By bridging the gap in nonverbal communication, we can create more meaningful and fulfilling interactions. Autistic individuals often think literally. They struggle with abstract concepts, jokes, and sarcasm. Imagine solving a math problem with words, not numbers. The logic can be elusive. Navigating abstract thought can be challenging. They might excel in concrete thinking areas like math, science, or music. Think of a dictionary defining words only with words. The meaning is correct but lacks depth. Use clear language and concrete examples. Visual aids and hands-on activities help. Embrace different thinking for inclusivity. Remember, these are just some of the many ways autism can present itself. Every autistic person is unique, with their own strengths, challenges, and ways of experiencing the world. Early identification and intervention are crucial, but support shouldn't stop there. By educating ourselves, by challenging our assumptions, and by approaching autism with empathy and understanding, we can create a world where autistic individuals feel valued, respected, and empowered to reach their full potential. Let's work together to build a world where everyone feels seen, heard, and understood.